Okay, let's talk about Kavanaugh again. Now, there's been strong strong defenders for Brett Kavanaugh, saying that his defence was decent and that Christina Blasey Ford's opening statement was weak and had no credibility. And then Republicans are saying that it had credibility, but she got the mistaken identity and it wasn't really Brett. Here's the thing. If you watch the entire thing with no bias, no opinions going into it, and you look at the people, what they say, how they're interviewed and everything else, Christina Blasey Ford was much more believable than Brett Kavanaugh. Brett Kavanaugh came out trying to be angry. I mean, I found him more whiny and irritating, trying to force emotion, trying to appeal to a certain person, but mostly try to build that relationship of, hey, you know me, I'm just that good Catholic boy. Now, that is not a good defense. And when he was asked about an investigation from the FBI, he shifted it. Now, some people defending him have said what he's said, that he's been investigated 6 times in the past. Here's the problem with that. I've had a number of security investigations about me because of the line of work that I do and because of previous jobs that I've had. At no point during those investigations did someone go and talk to the people I went to school with. At no point did any of those people go and talk to, people in my actual life, because there wasn't that specific need for it. Some of them were shallow checks where they just checked to see if I was arrested. Some of them went a lot deeper and explored everything I've done in my working life. It's a similar kind of thing with Brett Kavanaugh. They weren't looking for someone who is accused of attempted rape and gang rape, which is something that isn't getting covered enough, I think. But they went and they looked for things that would blare out and be blatantly obvious. Now, less than 30% of women come forward in sexual assault and sexual rape cases. And the women that do are bullied mercilessly. Brock Turner is the best example to give up because that was fairly recent. I think I brought this up before, but just to say it again, Brock Turner went to a party, found an unconscious girl, raped her. He served 3 months in prison. She was bullied to the point where she not only had to leave that school, but her entire family had to move out of the area, and she was the victim. That's why women don't come forward. And it's not to say that the ones that do are believed and they get justice at all. Now again, if you wanna wait until the actual verdict is in, and you think that he could be innocent, okay, fine. I mean, I'm personally, being completely honest, I am not in that camp. I think he's 100% guilty. I didn't like the man going in, given that he said very, very clearly in the past, no, you do not have a right to life. If your company says you should have died, you should have fucking died. That's why I can't stand the man. Not for a single second. He has no interest in human life whatsoever. He is pro-corporate all the way. And if a corporation says that you should die, then that's the side he's going to take. That's not the kind of person that America needs right now, given that huge portions of America's drinking water is toxic from lead and things like that. But look, if you want to say, look, you'll reserve judgment until the evidence is in, fine. Absolutely understand that. The FBI is investigating. They do still have a limited scope, but despite what Trump said, he gave them a much, much stricter leash in the very beginning. They are, as far as I know, not talking to the woman who accused Brett Kavanaugh of gang rape. That is incredibly serious accusation. So why would they not be allowed to speak to him? Why would they not be allowed to speak to her, given that she's one of the women who came forward? Mike Judge, who was also implemented in Blasey Ford's attempted rape, might be questioned, but the Senate hearing didn't want him anywhere near the building. That's unbelievably significant. That's a key witness, yet they didn't want him there. That should ring alarm bells to everyone, especially as Mike Judge's ex-girlfriend has come forward and said, yeah, you know what, Judge actually said about this before, this is something that you should be taken seriously. But even if we're ignoring the FBI investigation, which, again, we shouldn't, because these are incredibly serious accusations and they need to be followed up, done within a week, so it's not political. Republicans Republicans blocked an Obama nominee for 14 months. That was purely political. This is trying to find out what kind of man will fill an incredibly important position for the rest of his life. And they're doing it, making sure it's done before the midterm elections, making it non-political. But even if we get rid of the sexual assault and gang rape accusation, even if we get rid of the FBI, Brett Kavanaugh demonstrably lied under oath. He lied about his work under George W. Bush. He lied about his caseload and what he was responsible for during the Clinton investigation. He's lied about his work in the past. These are demonstrable lies. Things that we can go back through the public record and say that was a lie. And then we go back to him trying to be the nice little choir boy and his friends who were with him at the time saying, no, that wasn't Brett at all. He was completely different. This is a man who has lied under oath repeatedly. Even if you dismiss all of the sexual assault accusations, he has demonstrably lied under oath. That makes him unfit for the office he is running for. This is not a court hearing where he will go to prison if he's found guilty. This is a job application. And he has proven that he disregards the law simply because he wants to. He has proven he cannot uphold the law, and he is a demonstrable liar. So even if you still defend Brett Kavanaugh when it comes to sexual assault charges, you can't defend the fact that the man has lied.